What's going on, everybody? Today I wanted to take a look at the new Cyberpunk update that dropped a couple days ago, and they seem to have added ray reconstruction to regular ray tracing, whereas before it was only available on path tracing mode, so you had to enable path tracing to be able to use ray reconstruction. And I actually did make a video when that first released checking it out, and while it was really cool, there was some ghosting issues with it, which I talked about in my video looking at it. I wanted to check out ray reconstruction in regular ray tracing. We'll go through the settings here real quick. So we got ray trace reflections, shadows, local shadows, lighting to psycho. All the other graphical settings are essentially maxed out. Running the game natively, and I'm running on my 3440 by 1440 ultra wide Alienware monitor. And let's see what we got for performance. He's 60 FPS natively here with ray tracing maxed out, not path tracing. So that's actually pretty good. And as you can see here, if you look at the building reflection on the ground, as we move around, you can see some separation and ghosting, smearing essentially as we move around. As the people move, you can see there's a bit of ghosting that remains behind as they cross over the marble tile, right? Okay, so why don't we try turning on ray reconstruction and see if that fixes it at all. Taking a look at this for the first time. Now, in order to be able to use ray reconstruction, you have to use DLSS. So we're gonna have to turn DLSS super resolution. I was gonna try DLAA because I wanted to see how it would work with native, but DLAA grays out ray reconstruction. For some reason, I'm not sure why that is. The highest we can go is DLSS quality, ray reconstruction on, apply. We're getting around 100 FPS, and we're getting the same essentially. Okay, so now I can already tell that the reflections are definitely sharper, and as we move around, there is no smearing of any kind. So it's definitely much better. I still feel it's almost has like an artistic look to it. It does look better, don't get me wrong. I don't know if you guys seen any of John Linneman from Digital Foundry, but he calls it like a posterized look. So if you've done any Adobe Photoshop work, there's a setting called posterize, which is essentially almost like a stylized, like a drawing type of thing. So I do kind of see that. But you can see the reflections are much better. Like even the girl walking, there's no ghosting that's left behind. You can still see her reflection actually walking away as far as she is. And this guy too, it's definitely a lot more stable. There's no like smearing or breaking up as we strafe left and right. This here's another really good example of ray reconstruction being added just to regular ray tracing. Now if you look here, this is supposed to be a glass building, obviously. And we can see the reflection here kind of make out that it is whatever's across the street, but it doesn't look great. Let's turn it on. That's ray reconstruction, apply, and look at that. That looks a trillion times better, guys. Like, you can actually see what the hell's going on. You can even see the people crossing and moving around on it. And if we disable ray reconstruction, now we've disabled ray reconstruction, you can actually barely even make out the people crossing the street. I mean, you can kind of see them in the reflection, but they're so smeary, so ghosty that you can barely even make out that it's people walking across, you know? So that is pretty amazing. So I've gone ahead and enabled path tracing now with ray reconstruction. We're going to see if the ghosting has improved at all, because while ray reconstruction did a really good job clearing up the ray trace reflections, it introduced quite a bit of ghosting, especially with distant NPCs. So we've enabled path tracing here. Ray reconstruction's on. We still at DLSS quality. And I'll turn on the performance metrics here too. So we're at around 70 FPS, pretty good. I'm going to look at the distant enemies there. And actually I can see a little bit of ghosting. I mean, it's night and day difference to how it was. Yeah, you can see at the distant enemies by the front of that store. You can see there's a little bit of a ghosting trail behind them. It's not, like I said, not as bad as it used to be, but it's still not 100% perfect. It's nice to see that NVIDIA has improved on it, which usually it's how it goes, right? A new tech comes out, it's not perfect, then it ends up getting further refined, and then it makes it into more games. And that's kind of what I hope happens with Ray Reconstruction, because it does such a good job at denoising. What I want to try to do is find one of those caution blinking lights, because I do remember turning Ray Reconstruction with that, it almost made it completely smeary and it all disappeared. So I think that'll be the real test. It's like one of those signs that's in police cars. Okay guys, so I seem to have found one of these signs. Now that was extremely smeary and ghosty when Ray Reconstruction first dropped. So I have it turned off right now. We're gonna turn it on and see if it's improved at all. Like I said, before it was extremely smeary. I'll see if I can find some footage from my previous video and kind of add it in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But let's turn Ray Reconstruction on. Alright, so now we've turned Ray Reconstruction on and it's much better. Although you can still see that it adds quite a bit of ghosting, right? But you can at least read what is on there, and it's definitely better than it was, but still not perfect. It's not, without Ray Reconstruction, it does look better, that type of sign. So it's still not perfect, but I mean, it's come a long way since the first day that it dropped. So that is quite impressive, and I suspect that it'll get better with time. But that is a big improvement. Still not perfect though. Anyways, I just wanted to take a quick look at this, because I heard about this update. I wasn't even aware that it was coming, but it sounded interesting and I did want to check it out and kind of share my thoughts on it. It's great. I mean, it's good to see that NVIDIA is improving on Ray Reconstruction, because it's a very impressive feature. As someone that doesn't like ray tracing and enjoys the technology, I do like to see something like Ray Reconstruction get better and better, because denoising is a challenging issue that implementing ray tracing is something developers have to tackle. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I want to thank you for watching the video. Give it a like if you liked it, and if you want to see more content like this, you can subscribe. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.